That guy there has a device, and he was walking all the way down, about halfway down there. Now he's walking back. I guess it's some kind of length meter, to, and they just closed that door, whatever that was, and well, that one's open there. I don't understand the concept. I saw the airplane, and I zoomed in, and it did not let me zoom in. It was all blurry. And usually past blurry, it usually clears out. But for that airplane, it wouldn't let me. And by the time I zoomed out of it and trying to do it again, the thing just cloaked out of sight. It's like I should have just left it out of zoom mode, and I probably would have saw it just cloak out in front of my eyes. I got a lot of airplanes cloaking and decloaking. A long time ago, I see the chemtrail contrail, and then all of a sudden it stops doing the contrail, and all of a sudden I could see the jet plane plain as day. And that's when I had the video camera could go 2,000 times zoom, and it has eternal memory in there, 32 gigabytes by itself. I don't have to buy an SD card of any kind. It has a 32 gigabyte in it, and I can put it at its lowest quality and get 7 hours and 20 minutes if I put it through the AC/DC plug. If I put it through the battery, I'd have to do 2 batteries just to come close to making up 7 hours and 20 minutes. But, like I said, I wish they'd make a solar powered camera so that I have unlimited and always have eternal memory in the video camera. That way, it'll work every time. You don't have to worry about charging anything. The solar power would work all the time. It uses the power of the sun, S-U-N, that God created. God created everything, the sun, the moon, everything, including that truck and the poles to make it work. All resources goes back to God, capital G-O-D, including cloaking and anti-gravity. But one thing we all agree on, God will not allow a real-time machine because it would mess up the whole history of everything. Because mankind wouldn't know what to do. They would use it for wrong resources. On the History Channel or something like that, they said if we could make a time machine, we'd bring back a T-Rex. I go, what? You would bring back a T-Rex? Why not just a flower that might have an ingredient for a cure that's needed today? Why bring back a T-Rex? I mean, granted, we do have dinosaurs still in the jungle that was left from the Noah's flood. Well, God let it flood because he's holding the floodgates. He can let him. He has promised not to flood the whole world ever again. Because we have regular floods that ain't the whole earth. Because all the time during weather, but he made a promise to not to flood the whole earth. So he's holding out the floodgate. That's Pastor Mike Astor's message Wednesday night. But he is going to turn the sun extra hot to burn the same earth and remodel it. That's Pastor Walter Cole's message. That's why the ozone layer is now opening up. It's God's timetable, capital G-O-D. And I'm saying the sun used to be a bright yellow in the sky. From the 60s, 50, 40, 30, 70s, 80s, and maybe 90s. But somewhere in the the year 2000, 2010, 2011, 2012, and now it's year 2020. The sun is a bright white ball of intense light in the sky. It's God's right around the corner, folks. You need to wake up. He tried to wake us up on 9/11. It worked for a while, and then everybody slacked off. And then all of a sudden, he had to wake us up on year 2020. I mean, we're not in control. God's in control. Man's not in control of anything. God's waking us up. I understand it. And every born-again Christian understands it. So it's important to get saved so you can see what we see.